Welcome to Basic Brewing Radio for Thursday, July 5th, 2018. I'm James Spencer. Here at Basic Brewing Radio, we're all about home brewing. This week we head to Portland, Oregon for Club Night at Homebrew Con, where you can find just about any beer you can imagine and several that you couldn't. And chances are they're all delicious. If you go to basicbrewing.com, you can find our archives of our audio and video shows, our DVDs, our brewers' logbooks, and other Basic Brewing gear. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Basic Brewing and find our show page on Facebook. We have a cool Basic Brewing app on iTunes and Amazon.com, and we're found all over the place where fine podcasts are served up. If you do us a favor of rating us on iTunes and maybe leaving a nice comment, they say that'll help new listeners to find us. If you want to support us financially, check out patreon.com/basicbrewing. And financial supporters of Basic Brewing found their inboxes stuffed with goodies from us on Monday. I posted an early release of the Basic Brewing video episode I'm going to post on Friday, featuring my IPA with rosemary and my pork chops with creamy mushroom wine sauce cooked in the Instant Pot. Financial supporters not only got an early release of that video, you got recipes for both the beer and the pork chops. And Patreon supporters of at least $5 got a behind-the-scenes video of the whole brewing process with a play-by-play by me as I brewed along. Not just the short B-roll shots that you see edited in the regular episode. So that's content that we will not be releasing to the general public, and there's more of that kind of thing coming. We appreciate everybody who's helping us along financially. In this week's Basic Brewing video, by the way, you will see the new Basic Brewing silicone pint. I keep wanting to say silicon, but that's a whole different thing. This is a pint that is great for camping or on the patio because if you drop it, it'll bounce. Your beer will still spill, but, you won't have shattered glass everywhere. The pints are very colorful, tie-dye, with the Basic Brewing logo in white on them. Check those out at basicbrewingshop.com. I'm very excited because listener Frederick from Denmark sent us some Lithuanian farmhouse yeast. And I'm still doing some research on it. I'm still kind of confused about it. But it's called Simonaitis. Simonaitis, and it could be considered a kind of kveik, Kveik. This is becoming a spelling bee, which is Norwegian yeast, though. So some people don't consider it a kveik, but it's very confusing. It's on the page, the wiki page for the kveik. Anyway, I feel very international. Yeast from Denmark that came from Lithuania and could be related to some Norwegian yeast. Anyway, Frederick says he got this yeast from a friend, and he sent us 4 vials of it, and I've shared one with Steve. The yeast apparently works well in very warm temperatures. So I'm going to put the beer that I make into a bucket and set it out on my porch. We've been having 90-degree plus days, or 32 C is 90 degrees Fahrenheit, here this summer, or this week lately. It's been hot. Quite a change from Portland. But this yeast is said to produce very fruity flavors and may have a lactic component. So I'm going to do a no-boil brew with hops only in the mash. Just going to put like 1 ounce of Fuggle, or 20 grams of Fuggle UK Fuggle in the mash. So stay tuned for more details on that. I'm very excited. Feel very adventurous. And if you have experience with this Simonaitis yeast, please let me know. Or if you know how to pronounce it. Hey, I want to take a minute to talk about our sponsor, Tavour. Tavour is a way to select delicious craft beers that you may not be able to find in your area and have them delivered to you. It's not a Beer of the Month club where somebody chooses the beer for you and it's kind of a surprise when they come to the door. You only pay for the beer that you choose over the course of the month. Signing up for Tavour is free. Just create an account at Tavour.com and download their iPhone or Android app, and you'll receive notifications for 2 new beers each day that are available for purchase with in-depth tasting notes from Philip at Tavour. If you're not interested in the beers, no worries. Just skip the ones you don't want. However, when you do see something you do want to get, don't wait. Just click to add it and add it to your crate. Your beer arrives fresh every few weeks, allowing you enough time to fill a box and pay the least shipping. So that's very handy. And looking at the Tavour app today, I see Alyosha from Lamplighter Brewing in Massachusetts. That's a grisette. Then there's Jam, The Jam from Hop and Frog in Ohio. That's a bourbon barrel raspberry hot pepper porter. And Hazing Cane from Council Brewing in California. That's a double dry hopped IPA. So there you got the whole width of the country there in just those selections. So why don't you check it out? It doesn't cost anything to sign up, and there's no obligation to purchase anything. In fact, if I can ask you a favor, go to Tavour.com or download the app, and when you sign up, enter the promo code Basic Brewing, all one word, and you'll get $10 off your first shipment of $25 or more. Again, it's free to sign up, and there's no obligation to purchase. Sign up at Tavour.com, T-A-V as in Victor, O-U-R.com, or with the Tavour app, and enter Basic Brewing as the promo code. My voice is still recovering from Homebrew Con in Portland. I think it's a combination of the air in the plane and the air in the hotel room, and it's drier up there than it is down here, and could be all the yelling, all the yelling. But we had a great time. We hung out with the Brillosophy guys a bit. I got to hang out with our friends from New Zealand. I'm going to have to stop doing that. I can't do it. We recorded a ton of content with people like Bob Stemsky, Zod O'Connor, Tim Lieber, and Norm Kwasinski, Basic Brewing regulars, basically. Along with the folks at Imperial Yeast. We went to Occidental Brewing Company. We went to Cascade Brewing Company. Lots of great stuff to come in the next several weeks. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, I want to give a shout-out to Nathan Zender of Right Proper Brewing in D.C. You've heard him on the show several times. He's working on a side project that he's got a Kickstarter going for. It's an off-the-grid, solar-powered, mobile winery and cidery that's based in a shipping container. It's a very cool concept, and it's designed to produce low-intervention wine and cider. It's called the Hibernaculum, and you can find out more about what that is and what low-intervention wine and cider is, and support it at Kickstarter. So go to Kickstarter.com and search for Nathan Zender. That's Nathan, Z-E-E-N-D-R, and you can find it there. The deadline on the project is July 14th. So if you're interested in helping Nathan out, you can do that. And Nathan hints that Kickstarter won't allow you to give certain things away, on the site, but you might get something interesting if you support him. Contact Nathan to find out more about that. I helped our sponsors Desiree and Dave select the name out of the kettle for the electric brewing system that they had a drawing for at Homebrew Con. And you can see that video, the Facebook Live video of Steve and me doing that along with Dave on High Gravity's Facebook page. And the winner was Kent Thompson out of Little Rock. There were a ton of slips of paper in there. And I drew somebody from Arkansas. I swear I didn't cheat. I guess karma was trying to make up for that College World Series loss, which we watched part of at the Imperial Bottle Shop after we recorded with them. Painful. Anyway, Ken is going to love that high-gravity Wordhog system. And I know that I love mine. I know Steve loves his as well. It's going to be great for brewing that no-boil beer with the Lithuanian farmhouse yeast I talked about earlier. After the mash, I'm going to bring the wort up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit or 82 C for 15 minutes or so to sanitize the wort. Get rid of any lacto or any wild yeast that's on the grain. And that'll be easy to do with the mash mode of the Wordhog controller. It'll hold that temperature rock solid, no problem. And for ordinary brew days, the boil mode of the controller lets me dial in exactly the power level that I want to go to in the heating element. So I don't have to worry about the wind on cold days knocking the heat out from under my kettle. Electric brewing takes the pain out of propane. Check out all the electric gear at family-owned and operated highdgravitybrew.com and use the promo code EBC75BB to save $75 on your electric gear purchase. That's at highdgravitybrew.com. Okay, Homebrew Con is always special, but this year's was a little more special. Charlie Papazian gave the keynote, and he's stepping down later this year as head of the Brewers Association. So if you enjoy good homebrew or commercial beer, you have to thank Charlie. He was very inspirational at getting the ball rolling and removing the barriers to good beer. And we got to enjoy a lot of the great beer and camaraderie that Charlie has inspired at this year's club night. So Steve Wilkes, here we are at our 12th club night?
12th club night, 2006. Somebody else do the math.
That was our first in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
This time is the first time that we've ever been, that one of us has been accompanied by a spouse.
That's right. My lovely wife Gretchen is here.
Hi, Gretchen.
Hey, James. Hey, Steve.
You were the fifth person to call me Steve today.
Well, but you're Steve and James. You're my Steve and James.
Isn't that a wine cooler? Oh, wait, that's Bartle and James.
Oh, my God. My identity is merged into yours.
You're interchangeable almost.
Oh, for crying out loud. And laughing bemusedly is Sean Terrell, our friend from Leadville, Colorado, the owner of a soon-to-be-opened 2 Mile Brewing Company.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, also I did do the math, and it's your 13th unless you skipped one.
Okay, see, I was thinking it was 13, but I was afraid to say that because I'm not very good at math.
Wow. Well, there you
I
go.
always round up.
13 is my lucky number.
If this night goes horribly and I'm the only reason you know it's number 13, I accept no responsibility.
And the fact that we've been drinking your delicious beers at your motel room to warm up for this event.
Now, so we had a Belgian double and we had a milk coconut stout. Cocoa stout. And
I'm cuckoo
we
for
have been
cocoa
drinking
stout.
a little bit. But they were really good beer. Are those going to be production beers?
I would imagine we'll do the double in some way, shape, or form. That's something that I just like to have once a year as a seasonal. The milk stout was a true one-off for me at home, so something like it will probably come around, but who knows?
All right, so Steve, Gretchen she's already witnessed you getting your picture taken by strangers and you getting recognized and your hand shaken and all these things that we told her actually happened, and I don't think she believed it.
Well, that was the Washington County Sheriff's Office. But
you were getting your frequent stay miles.
Yeah, I get miles.
So what? Brief your wife on what she's about what she's about to walk into.
There will be people dressed as Vikings. There will be people dressed as doctors. There will be people dressed as nurses. One never knows. There'll probably be somebody carrying around a rubber chicken. You just never know. But we're going to go in. We're going to drink a little beer. We're going to find beers Gretchen likes.
Yes, this is the challenge because Gretchen, you are not a beer person. You are a wine person.
That's correct. So I'm looking forward to the challenge.
All right. Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
I'm a little nervous.
Ready but not prepared.
Story of my life.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Let's go in.
All right. We just walked in the door. Who are you? Where are you from?
Toby Johnson, Atlanta, Georgia. Woo!
Woo! All right. What have you had that's good?
Everything. But especially the Adam beer that I presented on earlier this morning, but is being currently served at the Maltose Falcons booth.
Oh, my goodness. What's that?
It's an Adam beer. It's an old pre-lager German ale. It's about 13%. It's an ale, which is crazy for Germany. It's very, very malty, and the hops are actually quite strong.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we should go there.
Yeah. 300-year-old beer.
300-year-old beer.
Yeah.
So, but not that particular batch.
I was not making it 300 years ago, no.
Right. You don't have a TARDIS that's shaped like a kegerator. striking his beard. All right. Cheers, buddy.
I love the podcast, dude. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. Really love it. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, man. First of all, tell me who you are and where you're from.
I'm Augie Ogden. We're with the West Sound Brewers. We're celebrating our 26th anniversary, including one of our founding members who's been working 30 years on his beautiful stout down here.
Wow. Okay, now I have a challenge for you here. My friend Gretchen is not a beer drinker. She is a wine drinker.
A wine drinker.
So she's going to hand you her cup, and your challenge is to find her a beer that she will love. What do you got?
This is a raspberry lambic where the brewer actually took the wort, put it underneath his raspberry plants, let the wild yeast ferment down from the fruit, and then he uses that to inoculate us. And I just saw her eyeball. She just went, wow. So I just bought a wine drinker a beer.
What do you think, Gretchen?
Oh, I think it's lovely.
We found the brewer of this lambic. Ryan, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ryan Davies from Paulsville, Washington.
So tell us about this beer.
It is a straight lambic that I blended 1, 2, and 3 years, and the raspberries actually come from my backyard. Just tossed them all in there, see what happened.
And you used wild yeast?
Yes, wild yeast. What comes out of my, I'll put a tray full of wort down underneath my raspberries and see what happens, and that's what comes out.
Well, Gretchen here is a wine drinker, and she's skeptical on coming to a beer event, but I think you've converted her on her first sample.
Yes.
Well, it's lovely. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, we're here with Matt Misfelt from Patriot Brewing Company in Omaha, Nebraska, right? I may or may not have been drinking beer.
Oh, just a little bit. Yeah, I've been drinking too.
Well, what have you found that's good?
So far we haven't hit all of the places, but the one thing that we like coming here for is to see like all the different booths. But the Coho display over there with the boat, they has a really good dark lager. Czech dark lager was really good. So far a lot of the dark lagers have been standing out for me.
And Jennifer, you are associated with this guy.
I have to
but
say it.
but you are not an imbiber. You don't drink. But is this still a fun event for you?
Absolutely it is. And like I said, my favorite part is looking at all the tap handles and how creative people can be with their booth. That's my inspiration for coming to this particular club night.
And you get to experience the event with a clear mind through the entire thing, which is rare in this crowd.
I'm actually going to remember this tomorrow, unlike you guys.
Okay, first of all, who are you and where are you from?
My name's Eric Parker. I'm from the Brewers Homebrew Club in Vancouver, Canada, and I'm here tonight at Homebrew Con with a bunch of Canadians, and we put together a combined effort booth called the Great White North Homebrewers, and we are serving up some delicious beer.
All right, find me something, Eric. I'm going to hand you my glass, and your job is to go off and find me something good. It's another. Oh my God! It's Nathaniel sent from.
God save the Queen.
From Liehard Brewing Company. We've been to your place in Vancouver.
Yes, you have.
Yes. And how's it going, eh?
It's good, eh? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Eric, what do we got?
This is our passion fruit pisco sour, courtesy of Alvaro. He brewed it. Pisco, the South American drink, and then with passion fruit infusion, interpreted as a sour beer.
Oh, wow. Ooh, that's puckery and good. It's very refreshing. So it's a passion fruit pisco. You can say that around here. Sour. It's delicious.
This is Alvaro. He made that beer. Alvaro,
oh, wow.
Can you tell me about that beer?
Yeah, tell me about this beer.
Okay, I tried to make a beer in the style of a pisco sour cocktail, which is kind of like a whiskey sour, but in South America, Peru, Chile, they replace the whiskey with a grape brandy. So I made a beer, a kettle sour dry hop beer with Hallertau Blanc, which has the white wine notes in it, and that's the base beer. And then I have another one which it has passion fruit added, because apparently in South America they drink passion fruit pisco sours as well.
Wow. Nathaniel, any of your beers? You're a pro, though. Any of your beers in this group?
Yeah, I want to, it's me and these clubs. It's a chance to really play around and have some fun. The last year I brought a smoked porter where all the smoke came from potato chips. This year I made a double-double. So in Canada we have a coffee chain called Tim Hortons. And when you order the coffee, you order by how much cream and sugar you want. So everyone knows it is the double-double. So I wanted to make a coffee stout and call it the double-double. So I had actually technically 3 coffee editions. And I threw donuts in the mash and the boil.
You threw donuts in the mash and the boil.
I will send you a photo.
Is there any back bacon in there?
Shut up, Abe.
Oh, you hoser.
You hoser. I actually do have a back bacon beer, but I didn't bring that with me on this trip. We do a Baltic porter aged on back bacon, or we throw back bacon into the boil, and then we skim out the fat.
Is your beer on tap?
Yeah, it's the double-double. We'll get you some as soon as you're done that beer, Mr. James.
Oh, I'll be done here shortly.
But be careful, it's a big beer. It's 8.4%.
Oh, well, I have to get a small pour.
Fortunately, because of the tariff, it's a small pour.
Oh, Nathaniel is handing me the... Oh, I said, that's not a small pour.
It's small for Canada.
It's metric units.
Hey.
Sorry.
Oh, it smells delicious.
Sorry.
Okay, so talk about this beer again.
So this is the double-double. So what we did is we started as a Founder's Breakfast clone. We started working on the recipe. We added a little bit of brown malt, which really kind of adds to the coffee. And then we did about 85 grams of Sumatra at flame out. And then we double timbitted it, which is a donut hole, at flame out. And then we chilled it. And then we dry and beat it in secondary with more coffee and cocoa nibs aged in bourbon.
Wow. I don't so much get the bourbon, but man, the coffee is there. It's super roasty, and it's deceptively drinkable. This is not, I was expecting like a big syrupy thing. That ain't what this is.
It's well attenuated. Is that what you're looking for?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
No, sorry here, eh?
Sorry to hear, eh?
No, it's delicious.
Thank you, kind sir.
No, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. This has become the
welcome.
official Canadian homebrewing podcast here. So Nathaniel,
Breaking news, right here.
Okay, tell me who you are and where you're from, and what's Nathaniel talking about?
My name is Kathy Inley, and I live in Manitoba. And we're starting a Canadian Homebrewers Association.
There you go. That's big news.
Yeah, it is kind of big, because Canada's really big, and it's really hard to connect everyone together, even with the internet.
So what does that mean, the Canadian Homebrewers Association? What's that going to entail?
So part of the mission of the association is that we really want to connect homebrewers across Canada, which is a large, expansive land with not many people, but also we really want to help with legislative pushes, because each province has different laws, each territory, and like most of the all the territories actually is still illegal to homebrew. And so I know it's very strange. Like in Quebec, you can homebrew, but you can't take it out of your house, so you can't even technically submit it for competitions.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it sounds like where some of the states in this country were a few years ago.
Definitely. We're probably about like 20 years behind, honestly. Like Vancouver and Toronto and like Calgary and like, the bigger cities are really great about homebrewing, but like the rest of Canada is really pretty much smaller. The cities are much smaller too, right?
So what is the state of homebrewing in Canada? A few years ago, I talked to somebody in Canada, and they were like, it's pretty much kit and kilo, and we brew because it's cheaper, the alcohol is cheaper, but what's the state of homebrewing now?
Like we have about 40 homebrew clubs across the nation, and in varying sizes. We have homebrew clubs that are like 5 to 6 people, or we have big groups that have like 300 members. So it really varies. And like some of the more rural areas like Manitoba, Saskatchewan, like Alberta, most of these provinces have only just gotten their legislation laws about brewing loosened. So now there's new craft breweries happening. People are getting interested. So you have more people getting into the hobby of homebrewing. But of course, there's always been people homebrewing. It's just they might not be as organized. So I live in a small area like near Brandon, Manitoba, and we have like an informal group, and someone's trying to have a more formalized meeting and things. And just like people are starting to get there, which is really cool.
Well, good luck, Kathy, and keep us posted.
Thank you. I will.
Okay, now we're still international because we've gone from Canada, and now we are all the way in the southern hemisphere. Here's Carl Summerfield from Nelson, New Zealand.
G'day, James. How you doing?
Or should I say Nelson, New Zealand?
Sweet ass, man.
Is that close? Did I get close?
Not really, but I'll forgive you.
You're too nice. So, hey! and there's Casey Helwig from Imperial Organic Yeast dressed as a juice box. So, hey, Casey.
Hey, James.
I mean, that's a cameo appearance.
Yeah.
So what do you think of, this is the first of our homebrew conferences you've been to, right?
That's right.
What do you think?
It's pretty overwhelming.
Ed Breen from New Zealand, Ed.
New Zealand, Germany.
Oh, yeah. How you doing, Ed?
I'm bloody good. Enjoying. Actually, at the moment I've got some ants in my throat, so I don't know. There was this beer that they said it's with real bugs, and I kind of didn't expect ants, and they actually put ants in my beer. The beer was bloody good, but it was hard to drink. I believe Carl had a story about bodies in beer yesterday. I think, yeah.
Well, this is true. I had a bit of an argument with one of the breweries last night at the kickoff party, and they were putting all sorts of fruit in their beer. They had mangoes and they had kiwi. And I said, look, you can't do that because a kiwi is either a bird or a person, and neither of which belong in a beer, and the bird's endangered. It's a kiwi fruit. It's a kiwi fruit. But brewing with kiwis is absolutely frowned upon.
Well, I brewed with a kiwi. His name was Carl.
Well, that's true, and it turned out well, didn't it?
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, James. Nice to see you.
James. Adam.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself and where we're at.
I'm Adam Robinson from Silverton, Oregon. I belong to the Foothill Sparkers.
And what do we got going on here?
So I brewed a light pale with fir tips.
Fir tips, not spruce tips, but...
Not spruce, not pine, fir, because fir is indigenous to Oregon.
Ah, well, there we go.
So we brewed what I call a fir sure ale with 3 ounces of fir tips in the boil. And the key is to use just the new growth.
This is great. Wow. What I'm so impressed with, I've had a couple of spruce beers up here. This one's wonderful, and I'm so impressed with how kind of subtle they are. I almost expected them to be like drinking a Christmas tree, just like really, oh my God. Like when you clean the bathroom with Pine Sol. But they're not. And it's got just that nice, soft little evergreen thing that's just, it's almost reminiscent of a pine tree.
Well, I'd say that this is more complex than the spruce beers that I've had.
Thank you. So when I initially brewed it, I put a little bit of some Simcoe and some Chinook hops in it, thinking that I would pull out that piney kind of character. And when it was done fermenting and I carbonated it and I tasted it, I didn't get a lot of those characters. What I taste is strawberry.
Oh, interesting. Well, it's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Gary Glass, here we are again.
Yes, again.
Now you are the head of the American Homebrewers Association, which is more impressive every day, I think. And yesterday you said there are 3,200 plus attendees and 2,500 kegs of beer. Is that right?
That's right. It's probably over 2,500 kegs.
We need to get to work.
Yeah, well, I mean, who would want to show up to this without bringing some beer? So,
we have a parade coming through. This is also a part of the pageantry. Foam. So they were chanting foam, which brings me to yesterday, the keynote, and Charlie Papazian gave the keynote, and it was wonderful to hear him talk about all the shenanigans that they've gone through for the years. It's kind of an emotional time because he's stepping down, but at the same time, we have to recognize that his accomplishments and that the world craft beer scene would not be anything like it is today without Charlie Papazian. Certainly, this scene would not be the same. And so it's just impossible to enumerate his accomplishments.
Right, exactly. It's just to see an event like this, see 6,000 breweries across this country, seeing homebrewing popping up all over the world, emulating what happened here. That is all sparked by this kindergarten teacher who is also teaching homebrewing back in the 70s in Boulder and decided to create an association because that would be a fun thing to do and work full-time doing that while having a full-time job and then quitting his full-time job to make $300 a month.
And investing some of his own money.
Right, investing his own money to make this association happen and that kind of perseverance and that kind of vision to see, all that effort was going to pay off. And you asked Charlie, like, hey, could you possibly envision what's happening today from when you started things in 1978? And he says, yes, I can. Like, his vision was to see, a home brewer on every block and a brewery in every neighborhood. And that's what his goal was, and he achieved it.
And he said that he wanted to make homebrewing fun.
Right, exactly. I mean, the mantra, relax, don't worry, have a homebrew. I mean, I think it's something that's so important to remember. And I think, a lot of times we get really wrapped up in because there's so much information available now. You can really dive into the science of brewing, which is fantastic. But it's important to step back every once in a while and say, hey, the reason we do this is because it's fun.
And they told us today that there is now a Canadian Homebrewers Association recently founded.
Right. Actually, I just met with the people who are founding that association this morning, looking at how we can collaborate with them, because I certainly want to see them succeed, and the AHA has the resources to help them succeed. So I'm excited to be working with them. So it's great. And we, just last year we had the first Canadian elected to the AHA governing committee, Kathy Ann Lee, and she is one of the founders of the Canadian Homebrewers Association.
And we just talked to her.
Yeah, she's great. Really enjoy working with her, and wish them the best. And we'll do everything we can to help them grow their association and collaborate with the American Homebrewers Association.
Well, Gary, thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for all of this. Thank you, selfishly, thank you for your support of the podcast. And let us know what we can do to help you encourage this.
Okay, yeah, we'll do, for sure. I definitely appreciate all the thanks. People recognize me and thank me all the time, but we have a really phenomenal staff that I work with that really helps us put this whole thing together. So it's definitely a collaborative effort.
Cheers, Gary.
Cheers.
Tell me who y'all are and where we're at.
We are Greater Everett Brewers League from Everett, Washington.
And who are you?
My name is Will Perdine, and this is...
I'm Tony Soper.
And as I'm looking down into my beer, I have had insects in my beer when I'm sitting out on the porch, and there's a gnat or a fly or a mosquito or something in there, but I never leave the insects in the beer. But here we are inside, and you guys have given me a beer with insects purposefully put in it, which is a first.
So it's part of a series that we made from the Annihilation comic book series. And part of the Annihilation wave is an invasion of bugs. So this beer here is inspired because it has bugs in it. It's got crickets in the mash. And then we finish hopped it with some sugar ants. So
you're making a face, Steve.
Waiter, what's this fly doing in my soup?
The backstroke.
Sorry.
All right, cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Belly up. It's crunchy.
I just have no words.
It's actually quite good. It just tastes like a beer.
Gretchen, you've just seen your husband drink ants.
All I can say is we exterminate for those.
Oh, there's kind of a sweet taste to that. Are they flavored ants?
They're not flavored. I feel that they provide a little bit of saltiness if you bite into one at the finish there. So
yeah, there's something to it.
Yeah, there is. I don't know what. No, I mean, it really is a good beer. It's just I'm having trouble getting over the crickets and the mash.
But there are ants that are looking at you from the top of your beer. You can't stop thinking about the crickets, but there are literally ants in your beer.
Well, if you guys don't get a good rinse, you'll have ants in your next beer, too. They tend to cling on the glass.
Desiree.
Don't drink beer that have bugs in them. Advice of the evening.
I got ants in my beer.
No.
You got to drink an ant.
No, I'm not. No.
You got to drink an ant.
I refuse.
They're gluten-free ants.
No, gluten-free, I don't care. I have my limits.
What do you think about this whole thing?
Best night of the conference every year. It's so much fun. And the beers are amazing. The quality of the beers are usually, I mean, you'll get a few bad seeds, but most of the beers are just great. I mean, seriously. It's like no crap on tap.
No crap on tap.
Yeah.
That's a shirt. All right. Tell me who you are and where you're from.
Okay, my name is Pavel Anisimov. I'm from California. I'm a vice president of a DOZE.
And what does DOZE stand for?
And the DOZE is a Diablo Order of the Miracle Enthusiasts.
All right. Now we have this is Steve and his wife Gretchen, and Gretchen is a wine drinker.
Nice to meet you guys.
And our challenge is, but she also likes dark beers that don't have a lot of hops. So I'm thinking that this might be the ticket. What has she got in her hand here?
Okay, I would say it's a wee heavy of meads.
It's a what?
Wee heavy of meads. It's a caramelized boiled honey. I did it in stages, and I also fermented it with a Scottish ale yeast.
Oh.
So no hops.
Right.
And the honey caramel nose kind of like a wee heavy style. So
is this a bochet?
Bochet, it's a mead.
Yeah, right.
Where you just boil the honey.
Right.
That's it. And then you add water and the yeast and then you ferment it.
We've had bochets in the past and we've been big fans.
Yeah, this is a very good example. I really like it.
Okay, I'm gonna take a sip. Gretchen, what do you think?
I love it. It's absolutely wonderful.
And I think my keg is about to be tapped.
We got the last little bit. There was just a little bit left, and we got it.
Yeah. I brought 5 gallons of this, and it's been going crazy.
Yeah.
I had a huge line. People really excited about this, and that's great.
Hey, James, how you doing, man?
Hey, Tasty.
Nice to see you.
This is
Tasty McDowell here. Come on up. No, come on up and talk about it. Did you try the bochet?
No, I haven't tried it.
Well, here, try mine.
Give me a quick taste of it.
Yeah,
Say something while I'm tasting.
Yeah, try mine. My cold sore is going to clear up here before too long. It's no problem.
We're from the same club anyway.
It's so full of flavor.
It's a.
I just took a swallow. It's going on and on. It's getting better and better. Cool.
It's a wee heavy of meads.
Really?
Wee heavy of meads. Yeah.
So okay, now what does it mean? It's strong.
Well,
it's export mead. You're saying?
No, wee heavy of meads.
It's so what do you mean? It's got a lot of malt in it.
It has malt, yes. But it's not malt, it's caramel.
So it's honey that you boil and boil and boil and boil and boil until it darkens. So there's no malt in this. This is just
Melanoin character. The boiling?
Yeah, there is no malt. We get the same effect by boiling the honey to caramelize it.
Well, I feel a little bit honored here that we're here while Tasty McDowell has his first Bochet mead.
Yeah, I never had it before.
Oh, we just popped the cherry.
Pretty cool.
We popped the cherry.
He's going after more.
Yeah. I'm going to get some in my glass.
Okay.
It's delicious, is it not? Boy, it's got some coffee characteristics and some chocolate characteristics and some roasty, toasty things going on, but it's just from boiling honey. It's just boiling and essentially burning the honey.
I did the boil in stages, like 3 pounds for 15 minutes, add 3 pounds on top of that, another 15 minutes. So it's like 4 times, like 4 stages. So we have different levels of caramelization of the honey.
So are you direct fired or are you?
Actually, it was on my kitchen stove.
But a low, is it a royally?
It was like a full blow. Yeah, it was a full boil.
It doesn't have any burnt character at all. It's just like mellow noise.
I did it in stages, like at different levels. I tried it for a few times. I had a full boil for 2 hours. I tried full boil for an hour and a half, and I found that actually doing it in the stages would make it the best of it.
You're a very patient mead maker. I guess that's how you create some new science. You go like, I got all the time in the world. I might as well take advantage of it.
Well, I think this is very nice. We've had bouchées in the past that were delicious, but they had more of a kind of a burn characteristic. They were still good, but there was more kind of an acrid kind of a thing going on. This is more kind of a multi-layered kind of a thing going on. Congratulations, Pavel.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so tell me who you are and where you're from.
I am Debbie Serta from Austin, Texas. I'm a member of the Austin Zealots.
All right, and you got the horns to prove it.
I do. I have my Viking horns right here.
And what am I drinking?
You're drinking the Sour Saison Barrel Age. It's one of the Zealots Club projects.
Oh, wow. That is very tart and very delicious. Tell me about this beer.
Well, so back in December 2011, when Jester King, a brewery in Austin, Texas, had just opened, the owner offered his former homebrew club, along with other homebrew clubs, a barrel for the club members to essentially come up with a recipe, brew it, and put it in there and let it age for a year. So essentially it was our Solero. What you're drinking right there is one of the many creations that we've done since 2011.
Wow. That's delicious. So were there active bugs in or critters or microorganisms from Jester King in the barrel when you got it?
Yes. So the way that we did this was each brewer went ahead and brewed Saison. We kind of agreed on the recipe, brewed it themselves, and they went ahead and pitched it with Saison yeast. But before it finished out, then everyone brought it to Jester King, pitched it in a barrel that actually had the active microflora from Jester King itself.
Wow. You're lucky to have a brewer like that would share something like that. So is there fruit in this beer?
Not in this one in particular, but if you like, after you finish that one, I did actually bring a different year that we did. I have brought another one that we actually aged on Pinot Noir must that was brewed in 2014, aged for a year on the grape must, and then bottled in 2015. I have only a couple more bottles left. I'll share that with you.
Oh. Well, this is delicious beer, but I could imagine in my imagination that it's so complex. I could imagine maybe cherries or peaches or something like in there, but there's no fruit.
Yeah, and I think that actually is a reflection of the native microflora that comes from Jester King, and the understanding that, in regards to the microflora that is the mixed culture of sort of the various French saisons, the native yeast, wild bacteria and such, it will impart these kind of notes. So it can be very deceptive, but we see that as just being sort of the natural conditions of the mixed culture being used there.
Well, this is delicious, and I'm going to savor it for a little while, and I'm not going to chug this delicious beer down so that maybe I can take advantage of your offer to taste the next one. Thanks, Debbie.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
All right, tell me who you are and where you're from.
Russ Eisenberg from Portland.
You're a local guy.
I am a local guy, part of the Oregon Brew Crew, and in a shameless plug, one of the best beers I've had is the Typhoid Triple from the Oregon Brew Crew.
Oh, I love me some triple.
Me too. Me too. I mean, not as much as I love me a quad, because, a quad is always better than a triple.
One more. Well, but it's a different animal, It's one more, but, it's shifting gears.
Very true, very true. But, you might want to deal yourself a hand, right? A couple of doubles, a triple, make yourself a full house.
Well, I want to taste this triple that you speak of. So I'm going to shut this off, and I'm going to have you direct me toward that direction.
Sounds awesome.
Okay, we've been detoured here. Tell me who you are and where you're from.
Adam Candle from Boulder, Colorado.
All right, what you got, Adam?
Ginjo sake that's been cellaring for probably too long, but I broke it out for the Homebrew Con because it's my last bottle.
Oh, I'm honored that you were forced to share this with me. Cheers. I did a show years and years and years ago with a guy from, I think his name is Bob Taylor from Alaska.
Yeah, Taylor Made AK. Yeah, that guy. He's the best resource. Yeah, he goes off of a little bit of what Fred Eckhart taught, and then I even bought the out of print Sake USA book. I try to accumulate all the good literature and resources on it. But Bob Taylor's site guides you through making koji. Even tells you there how to re-spore it to make your own koji spores. And I grew the koji and did the whole 9 yards on this. It was
I did that interview with Bob, and he sent me a bottle of his sake, and it was wonderful. And I said, I got to make this. And then I talked to him about how complicated it was to make it, and I was like, maybe I better find some commercial sake that I really like, because that sounds really hard. Is making sake as hard as it sounds?
It's not harder, it's not more difficult than brewing beer, but it's more spread out. It takes a week or 2 weeks or longer of your time, but then it's you keep having to do stuff over the course of a lot of days instead of a brew day and then racking it and then bottling or something. It's you're brewing it for a week because you're adding all these rice additions, but each time it's only taking a little bit of your time. And then sake, you got sake. You don't just have beer, it's 18% sake, and it's really dry and it's really awesome, and you got 3 gallons of it, and I mean, it's worth it. It's less messy in that, it's never going to be black, sticky all over everything like an Imperial Stout. It's always going to be kind of white and clear and some crud, but not that bad. And then the lees you get left with, instead of spent grain that you can't eat, you can actually eat the spent rice, kind of. I mean, I throw cups of it in a curry dish, and it simulates a cooking wine type of thing. So you make nice cashew curry and throw some sake lees in there, which is called kasu, or you can marinate fish with it, and you can make other Japanese pickles with it, and it's really cool. It's so cool.
Cheers. Adam, cheers. This is delicious. Thank you very much for sharing.
Good to meet you guys. Come by Boulder sometime and come in the brew shop.
Okay, you have to plug your brew shop. What's your brew shop?
Boulder Fermentation Supply. It's the only home brew shop in Boulder, so just find the brew shop.
Does Charlie shop there?
Actually, yeah, he does. Cheers to
there.
that.
Cheers.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, tell me who you are and where we're at.
I am Jim Thompson, president of the Oregon Brew Crew. We are at the Oregon Brew Crew Club Night booth at Homebrew Con 2018.
And somebody's playing the Oregon Trail right here.
Playing the Oregon Trail video game, the second edition, if you're being technically specific, but yes. They're shooting at deer and bunnies as we speak. They're hunting for food.
Now, Russ, my buddy Russ, who disappeared, said that I have to have this triple, and you were the man who brewed this triple, so while I'm tasting it, you have to tell me about this beer.
Yeah, so it's pretty traditional, Abbey-style, Trappist triple, if you will. It's coming up on 10%, so it's pretty strong. It's your traditional Belgian Pilsner. Then we mix in some rye malts, which is untraditional, quite a bit of sugar, and then we're also using a touch of wheat, semi-traditional, and then we're using Imperial's Monastic, which is, technically they say it's the Chimay yeast strain, so very estery, very phenolic. It was fermented warm, probably about 3 days in. It was probably fermenting at 88 degrees, so it really got a lot of yeast production, and it dried out really well because of the high temperature, so...
I'm a big fan of triples,
thank you.
And I'm a big fan of this beer. It's delicious.
Very good, thank you.
So why the rye?
Just to kind of add a sharp edge to it. I wasn't sure it was going to fully attenuate, and I've had triples that have come out too sweet because they're so big. But I think that the rye, as well as the lower, the higher attenuation, I should say, worked well together. So.
It's delicious. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming.
Now, tell me who you are and where you're from.
I'm Jeremy Landers. I'm from Portland, Oregon.
And you've been on the show before.
I have been on the show before.
Remind us, for those who are not familiar with the archives, in a granular fashion, who you are.
We participated in the Pure Water Brew from Hillsborough, Tualatin Valley Water District. Sorry, I've had a couple of beers. My apologies. And,
it's the Poo Poo Pilsner episode.
Well, the Poo Poo Pilsner episode, yes. You have to listen to that one. It's a really good one, actually.
So cut to the romantic story.
So basically, I was looking for a hobby, something that I could actually come out creatively in a way and just do something better and do something like a great hobby. I did not know that you could brew beer as an individual, and so I read a lot of books. And then, back in 2005, 2006, I wanted to be a part of a homebrew club. Because I was told if you do that, you might actually meet like-minded individuals. So I joined the Oregon Brew Crew out of Portland, Oregon, and eventually my first meeting was at Widmer, and I met this lovely woman right here. I had no idea she was going to be my future wife.
Now I have to say, tell me who you are and where you're from.
I'm Jen McPoland, and I'm from Portland, Oregon.
And you want to talk about?
Well, if you want me to, I would love to talk about Shebrew. So this will be the third annual all-women homebrew competition, national homebrew competition, the largest one in the world, coming up in February of 2019, the last weekend of February. And then our festival, which is Shebrew, also same name, which will be the first weekend in March every year in Portland to benefit the Human Rights Campaign. And I could probably talk to you for an hour about Shebrew competition, but it's all for women, and it's all to celebrate women in beer, because there's a whole lot of us, and people don't realize just how many women love to brew and love to homebrew, because we are a force to be reckoned with.
And where can people find out about that?
Right now you could go to the OregonBrewCrew.org website to find out about Shebrew, or just shebrew.beer has the information for both the competition and the festival.
The website one more time.
Shebrew.beer.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hey.
Sean Terrell, they just called last call.
Yeah, I haven't seen you since about 5 minutes into this thing.
Yeah, what happened?
Homebrew Con happened.
Oh.
That's the first time I've said it instead of NHC.
Oh,
I
no.
rewired.
Oh, no. And here we are at the Zero Tolerance Gluten-Free Homebrew Club. And I think my last beer is going to be a gluten-free beer. Okay, tell me who you are and where you're from.
Well, my name is Ed, and I've lived lately in California, but I'm helping out here with the Zero Tolerance Gluten-Free Homebrewing Club that's here headquartered in Portland.
Okay, this is my last call. Your beer is going to be the last I drink tonight. Get me a good one.
That's a bottle-conditioned, wee heavy style. It's made principally with millet. It has a little bit of specialty rice in it. Tiny bit of red lentils to give it some head retention. It's been kettle caramelized. And aged for about maybe 3-4 months.
See, now this is delicious.
Well, we've tried really hard to make beer that we enjoy to drink, because the options for us are limited. In many cases, we received sort of celiac diagnosis late in life after we developed a taste for good beer. And so it's a kind of a gauntlet thrown down for many of us to be able to produce beer that is able to serve on the level with the other beer that we're used to having. You know, it's also a challenge for us because some of the chemistry is different. Some of the ingredients have unusual qualities. And so it's very fun to try to figure out a way to solve some problems that are a little bit unique to our circumstances and try to deliver beer to people like you that you would enjoy without it being an unusual taste that we've kind of had to adopt.
Well, I can tell you, this is the 6th one of y'all's beers that I've had, and there's no, like, weird twang, or there's no, nothing to me that would tell me that there's something unusual about the way these beers have made. We're going to have one more.
We're very pleased with this beer because this beer was submitted to NHC. This beer was submitted to NHC, and I believe it competed within NHC in the IPA category. and I think it scored very well on the level. I think maybe Joe will correct me, but I believe he got a 38.
Yeah, it got a 38 against the other IPAs.
Within the NHC IPA category.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me who you are and where you're from, and what's this beer?
Hey, James, I'm Joe Morris. You're drinking Endgame IPA. It's a gluten-free IPA that I brewed initially for NHC. This is the second brew of it. The first time I ran it through NHC, it scored a 38 in the IPA category. Got out in the mini BOS in that category. It's a strictly millet and rice mash. And the hops in it so it's a gimmicky name. So it's End. All the hops come at the end. And it's Game, Galaxy, Amarillo, Mosaic, and Euconaut. I entered it straight into the IPA category as an IPA. No disclaimer that it was gluten-free.
But I tell you, it's delicious, and I would drink this all day long. I mean, you know.
You'd get a headache. It's 8% alcohol.
So, please get in touch with us. Best way is through
the club. Yeah, so we've got a club. We have an online presence on Facebook. It's called Zero Tolerance Gluten-Free Homebrew Club. We got about 172 members online, and we're all sharing information on there and just trying to help each other make better beer.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
You bet. Thank you.
Well, Steve, that's another club night in the books, and Gretchen is off.
She's off to Tigard.
She's been picked. Her mom came and picked her up.
That's right, because I had to have her in.
There's certain rules.
There's certain rules with that, even though we're married.
This is Oregon.
That is Oregon.
I don't know what that means.
Well, I can tell you, I can speak for her and say that she did not want to leave.
Yes,
she was like, I don't want to leave right now, but her mom was already out there to pick her up. And she was blown away by the energy, by the creativity, by the friendliness of everyone.
All right, buddy. Here's to more fun.
Yep.
And adventures and tasty brews.
Tasty brews.
All right. Cheers.
Clink.
Tink.
What an amazing time. Always great to see familiar faces and also great to meet new people too. And I always come away from Club Night inspired with a list of techniques or recipes or styles that I want to try. And I understand next year it's going to be held in Providence, Rhode Island. Very exciting. I've always wanted to go to Rhode Island ever since I was a kid and putting together little, map puzzles. Lots more stuff to come from Portland, though, in the coming weeks. If you have brewing questions, show suggestions, or just want to say howdy, write to James at basicbrewing.com or just fill out the contact form on basicbrewing.com. And please don't forget to tell us where you're from. Thanks to everybody supporting us through our Patreon page. Special goodies coming your way. Check that out at patreon.com/basicbrewing. Be sure to check out our DVDs, Extract Brewing and Partial Mashing, Stepping into All Grain, Low-Tech Lagering, and Decoction Mashing, and Introduction to Wine Kits. You can find them all on our site. Get a free Basic Brewing bottle opener with any DVD combo. And you can check out our Basic Brewing shirts in the store, too. You can find our logbooks where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. You can find our silicone pint glasses, or not really glasses. They're silicone pints for at least a limited time at basicbrewingshop.com. And don't forget you can join the American Homebrewers Association and subscribe to Brew Your Own magazine through the associate links on basicbrewing.com. It's all until next time. Until then, hopefully my voice will be better next week. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm James Spencer. Production help for Basic Brewing Radio and our website is provided by Kelly Dotson. Basic Brewing Radio is a production of Active Voicing. Talk to you next time, everybody. So long.